إذا إسرائيل اختفت هل بصير في سلام؟
أكيد رح يصير سلام
For sure there would be peace.
النزاعات بين الفتح وحماس رح يعني
And the conflict between Fatah and Hamas would be resolved and we would no longer have a split between them.
مثلا مش انه يصير في نزاع على الحكم انه بين فتح وحماس يعني هلا فتح بشكل عام يعني
there might not be a conflict between Fatah and Hamas about who would rule.
وكمان شغله انه ممكن انه اذا انضمت غزه انه ممكن انه يصير مشاكل يعني تتوسع يعني تصير يعني شكل دولة إسلامية
ممكن يعني ممكن إنه إسرائيل تختفي وبصير في عنا مين اللي بيحكم بصفي؟
ممكن حماس.
Also, if Israel disappeared, most likely, since Fatah is right now in control, most likely Hamas would be in charge and Gaza would be a part of the West Bank, and then it would become like an Islamic state or country.
Okay. That's what she wants, or that's what she thinks? It's the same thing, I guess. Okay.
لو إسرائيل اختفت، لو بطل في إسرائيل اختفت، بصير في عنا سلام؟ كل المشاكل تنحل؟ لا.
مش بس إسرائيل سبب المشاكل أصلاً.
Okay, it's not just Israel that's the reason of problems.
So what else is the problem?
طب أوكي إيش سبب المشكلة غير إسرائيل؟
كل حدا بده يسيطر بسوي مشاكل. كل حدا بده يسيطر على العالم بسوي مشاكل.
Anybody who wants to rule the world and control the world would cause problems and trouble.
So meaning there's too many people who want to control. That's what he's saying?
فبرأيك أنت شايف إنه أو يعني في كثير ناس حابة إنها تسيطر. شايف إنه في كثير ناس حابين تسيطر.
You disagree?
برأيك إذا اختفت إسرائيل بصير في سلام أو بتنحل المشاكل؟ Yes.
What? Sorry, yes, what? I didn't understand what you said.
Yes, if Israel disappears,
there would be peace. All the problems would be gone. Okay.
صوت في الشارع. فإذا إسرائيل اختفت بصير في سلام؟
يمكن لا.
Maybe not. Perhaps there would be even more war.
Why?
ليش؟
برضو الفلسطينيين بدهم يستغنوا عن إسرائيل.
Because Palestinians cannot live without jobs in Israel.
Oh, because of the economy.
عشان الاقتصاد يعني
أيوة.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. What about the fracture? If there was no Israel, would the Hamas Fatah thing go away?
طيب إذا فيش إسرائيل الانفصال اللي صاير أو الانقسام اللي صاير بين حماس وفتح بيروح؟ I don't believe so. I don't think so.
Okay.
If Arabs become united, and she's saying this sarcastically, then yes, there would be peace.
Okay, but Arabs don't tend to become united, sadly.
إذا إسرائيل اختفت هل بصير في سلام؟
أكيد لأنها هي العائق الرئيسي أمام السلام.
Because it is the main obstacle in front of peace.
What about the conflict between Fatah and Hamas?
طيب شو عن المشاكل أو شو عن النزاع اللي بين فتح وحماس؟
هذه مشكلة يعني لا تعد مشكلة كبيرة بتنحل إذا كان مش موجودة إسرائيل تحل.
This isn't considered to be a very big problem. This can be resolved if Israel disappeared or went away.
إسرائيل اللي منع حل هاي المشكلة أصلاً.
Israel is the one who is standing in the way of finding a solution between Fatah and Hamas.
بإغلاق على قطاع غزة وعدم إدخال المساعدات والأموال.
Gaza and not allowing things
Materials into Gaza
and money.
لا مش راح يصير سلام راح يصير أزود من هيك راح يصير اختلاف بين الاثنين بين حماس وبين فتح.
There won't be peace. There would be even more problems between Fatah and Hamas.
Really? Okay, why?
ليش؟
هيك فيش هاي سياسي لازم ما فيش عندنا أمان أصلاً.
Because that's the way it is. It's politics and we don't have security.
Okay.
إذا اختفت إسرائيل هل بصير في سلام؟ إذا اختفت إسرائيل بصير في سلام عنا؟
إسرائيل يعني لما هم بيعرفوا عندهم مكتوب في التوراة عند اليهود يعني إنه هذه أرض الميعاد يعني سوف ينتهوا إسرائيل تنتهي فلسطين.
هم بيعرفوا هذا الشيء؟
يعرفوا مكتوب عندهم في التوراة.
The Israelis knew the Jews and Israelis know that it's written in the Torah that when they come here they will end.
Well,
Israel will end. The Jews
مكتوب
will
في
end.
التوراة.
إيش
والنبي
بالضبط بنتي؟
والنبي محمد عليه الصلاة والسلام أخبر المسلمين أنه سيأتي يوم
And the prophet
تقاتلون
peace be upon
اليهود
him,
أنتم
told
شرقي النهر وهم
the
غربي النهر.
Muslims
المسلمين بقاتلوا اليهود، المسلمون شرق النهر الأردن
النهر.
واليهود غرب النهر.
The Prophet told the Muslims that there will be a day when you will fight the Jews. The Muslims will be on the east side of the Jordan River and the Jews will be on the west side of the Jordan River.
That's in the Quran, right?
Yes.
في القرآن
Yeah, it's not in the Torah, but it
not in
doesn't
the
matter.
Torah?
Not in the Torah at all.
Okay.
But the original question though is, if Israel disappeared, would there be peace? What does that mean?
بس السؤال يعني الأصلي إذا إسرائيل اختفت بصير في سلام برأيك؟
الأمان بصير أمان لما يبقى في إسلام. الإسلام
There would be security
حكم
when
الأمة
Islam comes.
الإسلامية وعدل حتى في ظل
Because
الدولة
when there
الإسلامية.
was an Islamic country,
يعني كان
an Islamic
اليهود
nation, it was very
أفضل
secure
فترة
and it was very
إلهم
just,
في
and
فترة
it
الإسلام.
was the best time for the Jews. When Islam ruled,
يعني اليهود كانوا ياخذوا حقوقهم في دولة الإسلام
the Jews received their rights in the
زيهم زي
country of
المسلمين.
Islam just the same as the Muslims.
No, it's not the same. They couldn't have gold. They couldn't do. I'm still going to challenge this. There were certain rights the Jews couldn't have.
هو بحكي هو
آه.
ما كانش حدا يدفع الجزية.
كان عمر اليهودي مش قادر يدفع الجزية، عمر الخطاب أعطاه عشان
من
يدفع.
بيت مال
Do
المسلمين.
you know what jizya is?
Yes, you're paying a tax because you're not a Muslim.
Yeah, but if a Jew didn't have the jizya,
Uh-huh.
Umar ibn Khattab gave that person or that Jew from the house of money, from the house that the Muslims owned, where they put all their money,
Mhm.
like the zakat and the charity.
Yeah.
And Umar ibn Khattab gave that Jew money so he could pay the jizya.
Oh, no, it could be that I don't know about.
حتى في الحروب كان الرسول عليه الصلاة والسلام يقول لهم لا تقتلوا شيخا، لا تقتلوا
Even in the
طفلا،
wars,
لا
the Prophet
تقطعوا
said,
شجرة.
don't kill
Islam.
a woman, a child, and don't or an elderly, and don't chop down a tree.
حتى الشجرة ممنوع تقطعها. لكن أيامنا اليوم شو بتشوفي؟ الشجر بتقطع، البشر
But in our days, you can see that the humans are being killed, the trees are being chopped down. Okay. إذا إسرائيل اختفت هل بيصير في سلام؟
إذا إيش؟
إذا إسرائيل اختفت بيصير في سلام؟
أكيد.
Sure, of course.
لأن أصلا وجودها باطل.
با
وجود إسرائيل في الأرض هون باطل لأنه أصلا سرقت حق شعب في
باطل يعني غلط.
أكيد.
Because the existence of Israel is wrong because they stole a country's or a people's lands.
1948, they mean.
Yes.
Okay.
إذا إسرائيل اختفت هل بيصير في سلام؟ والمشاكل تنحل؟
يعني هذا سؤال كتير 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 مهم إننا كفلسطينيين.
This is a very, very important question for us as Palestinians.
Because all our problems coming from Israel. All our problems, all our life, you know, you can't go from a place to place. There is a checkpoint. You can't go to work because you need to get a permit to work. You can't go to pray in Al-Aqsa because you need to get a permit. You can't. All our lives you can't. We are under siege. All Palestinians are living under siege, not only in Gaza. It's in the West Bank.
Okay. So if Israel didn't exist, there would be no problems. What about between Fatah and Hamas?
You know, Fatah and Hamas, they are brothers. Every brothers in the world can get problems between each other. Then they can solve it. But when you are coming and tell me this is not your home, this is my home, so this is an occupation. You are occupying my house. You want it. But when I get a problem between you and me as brothers, will come a point that we can solve it.
Why can't you see Israelis as brothers and solve the problem?
Because Israel, until now, you know, we are under peace process since 1993 until now. After we signed Oslo, we get worse time than we have before Oslo. Before Oslo, we are under occupation, but we are now under occupation with the title of peace process. So Israel until now, before Oslo, I can go from Ramallah to Jerusalem without needing a permit to go there. Before I can go and work in Israel before Oslo. I can have any work in Tel Aviv. Nobody can say to me, why are you here? But now, under the peace process, the title of peace process, all of us.
But why can't you instead of part of it is attitude, part of it is your how you see things. So if you saw Israel as your brothers, why then you could come to peace. The same way Hamas and Fatah can come to be brothers.
That's
Why not?
right. But I told you why.
No, you just explained.
No. I will tell you why.
Yeah.
When we signed Oslo, we gave our political claim up. We gave our political claim up for 78% of historic Palestine. We said to Israel, okay, Palestine is yours. What we need is West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza, which is 22% of the West of historic Palestine. They took all Palestine and they put it in their pocket. The 78% of Palestine, they put it in their pocket, and they put the 22% on the table for negotiations. How much to give Palestinians from this 22? And this is very clear on the ground.
Well,
You can see that until now 60% of the West Bank is under Israel full control, which is Area C.
That's right.
You see, so
But the idea was eventually, once you proved that you can have peace, you would have all of it. That was the idea.
the idea
right?
that when we want peace, we want it together, a peace for us and for
No, you would have all the West Bank and all of Gaza for
East
peace.
Jerusalem.
And East Jerusalem. That was the idea. That was always the negotiated peace. But that's not what happened.
That's not what happened. Israel wants everything.
But that's and Palestinians want everything.
How?
How?
Yeah.
Because there was violence. As soon as there was the idea of peace negotiations, Hamas blew up bombs in Tel Aviv. They killed people, innocent people. So it's the same idea. So people could look at you and say, you don't want peace.
I will ask you a question instead of this.
No,
Why-
answer that question.
Okay, I will answer it.
Okay.
Why Hamas did that? The question why Hamas did that.
Okay, ask that.
We are sitting
Because they don't want peace.
on a negotiating table to get a peace, but we are not getting it. We are not getting it.
But that was 1994.
Sorry?
That was 1994. Hamas started blowing up buses.
Who said that?
It was 1994.
It's after 1967. It's in the 90s. After Oslo, Israel, Hamas started bombing.
That's right.
buses.
Exactly. So they
Not-
said they
not
don't want
48.
peace. Right? They said they don't want peace.
Because they are not getting it.
But they didn't give it a chance. From the beginning, they said we don't want peace.
Okay, Hamas put it on the side. What Mahmoud Abbas did until now.
Mahmoud Abbas, I agree.
It's more than 20 years of negotiations, what we get as Palestinians.
Self-rule in Area A and B.
Area A and B and C.
You don't have Area C.
Now we don't have Area B, Area A also. Israel can enter to any place in Area A and arrest
For
anybody
security
at any
reasons.
moment.
Okay, this is going around in circles.
So there is no peace.
Okay.
It's only a title that they are building settlements everywhere in the name of the peace. If you want peace, a real peace, at least you have to get your people, which inside the other's land, get them, minimize them how much you can, but not to double them and trouble them in West Bank and East Jerusalem. So you don't want peace, it's very clear. We want peace, we want to live with our neighbors in peace, but they don't want that. They wanted an empty land. This is the reason why there is no peace. They don't want us here. When they come and demolish your home,
باعتقادك إذا إسرائيل اختفت عن الوجود راح يكون في سلام؟
طبيعي اكيد بس شو بدك فيه اسرائيل يعني؟
Of course.
There'd be peace for Palestinians.
Yeah, there will be.
هي السرطان الموجود في المنطقه هي.
It's the cancer in the area.
Okay. So, what about the Hamas-Fatah split?
إذا صار زي ما بتحكي اختفت إسرائيل عن الوجود، شو رأيك راح يصير بين حماس وفتح؟
بالنتيجه فتح حماس فلسطينيه يعني فصائل فلسطينيه بالنتيجه يعني انتخابات تحكم بلاد انتخابات ديمقراطيه يعني بالنتيجه هي اللي يعني اللي بغزه قاعد الانقسام يعني هو الاحتلال يعني بالنتيجه بغزه الاحتلال ما بين حماس وفتح.
After all, Fatah and Hamas, they are Palestinians, and they are representing Palestinian people. And if Israel disappeared, there will be elections, and it will rule the area. And I think that in Gaza, now what's the splitting between Hamas and Fatah caused by the occupation after all.
He doesn't think it'll be a situation like in Syria or Iraq. I mean, I know it's, here they're, Palestinians are much more unified, but that they'd find other divisions.
بالرغم من انه الفلسطينيين اكيد متحدين اكثر من العراق وسوريا، برايك ممكن يصير شيء بيشبه اللي عم يصير بالعراق وسوريا لو ما كان يصير موجوده او اختفت؟
لا صعب كفلسطينيين يعني. لا صعب يصير عندنا اول شيء بالنتيجه ما في عندنا طوائف يعني بالنتيجه كلنا سنيه كلنا يعني بالنتيجه وعددنا محدود وهذه الخلافات يعني شيء طبيعي وظاهريه يعني. الشعب الفلسطيني هو من اكثر الناس ديمقراطيا بس الاحتلال هو اللي مش مخليه يطلع الظاهره او الظاهره تطلع الى العلن. واحنا خضنا انتخابات يعني تشريعيه ورئاسيه وبلديات وفصائليه يعني من ضمن انتخابات وعندنا الديمقراطيه موجوده عندنا الديمقراطيه.
I didn't think so because here in Palestine we are very small group of people, and we don't have that diversity of religious sects like in Syria and Iraq. And in basics, the Palestinians are very democratic, and we went to the elections of different elections, and we never had problem after that. So the comparison between both, like Palestinians and Iraq and Syria, is not valid.
واحنا عندنا انتخابات صارت تشريعيه يعني ونجحت فيها حماس ونجحت فيها الفصائل فتح وشعبيه ديمقراطيه، بس للاسف فتح انقلبت على الديمقراطيه يعني فتح واللي هي كانت موجوده الديمقراطيه وحماس يعني نجحت واخذت يعني اكبر كميه بس للاسف فتح انقلبت على الديمقراطيه يعني هي ما بدها يعني يكون حدا غيرها بديل لها وهذا اللي صار عندنا.
We used the parliament elections before, and Hamas won. But Fatah didn't like that, so they taken control everywhere, and they and after all, they want always to be on top.